Guys, if you could see what Michael does during the intro, it's just it's
You got to
it's first
time
of
it
all the
just right
cringe.
to stop. Listen,
The
I
cringe is
almost thought I was
unbelievable.
dancing too much. I was sitting there going, I'm like, wait, oh, it's about to end, and then
It's
go.
just it's people. It's hard doing it with the older folks these days, trying to be cool and all that. You know what I mean.
Listen, I ain't trying to be cool.
Oh no, you try, fail, but you try.
Nah, man. You know what? I'm not going to take any of that cap that you're trying to throw out here. I'm just going to spill the tea on this and say that I am cool. I am hip. I understand what's going on.
All right, don't worry, guys. I took Michael off, so we don't have to deal with that anymore. It's going to be a solo show.
Oh,
You
that
uh,
hurt.
listen, Michael. I had to put you in timeout. It was we were losing viewers. We were losing them.
I mean, I understand. I understand. Anyways,
Yeah,
let's get a little serious because we are so serious about our show and how we bring your content and everything. But
this is
Connie,
very true.
how have you been doing today, sir?
Thursdays are my busy day, Michael. I got
Okay.
school, then I go to
Hmm.
work, and then I come back and do this. So,
Hmm.
Thursday is my busy day instead of the other days where, it's usually two of them at max, not all three. But,
Gotcha.
we're doing a-okay. Put the finishing touches on one of my journalism stories today.
Okay.
You
What's
know,
it over?
actually, I did it because, well, I had to bring sports into everything because it's the only thing
Hmm.
I have any type of care for. So I did it on the NFL ratings increase this year.
Okay. They've actually increased. That's good to know.
17%.
That's good.
Yeah, that's no small number.
No, I was going to ask, but I guess we'd be getting into football more. But that's cool. That's cool. Good paper. I like it. Just from
Yes,
that alone,
sir.
great paper.
Right off to work from there, and then I
Hmm.
come back. Nice little hour of Xbox with the boys before I come hop on, and then guess what? We're gonna end the show and we're gonna get right back on.
Must be
So,
life.
Michael, how
Nice
are you
having that kind
doing?
of. I mean, I'm doing great. Went into work this morning. Did a few things at work. Pretty much trying my best not to do anything, and I feel like I was pretty successful. It kind of goes that way. No, we're getting into the seasons. It's going to be crazy. Just retail when you have to do that stuff. It gets busy. We got a freight truck coming in the morning. Got to be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Going to have even more baggage going on. But you know what? We get to talk on live stream right now, talk baseball, and talk to somebody that I really care a lot about that
Oh,
happened
yes, you
to
do.
send
Because he
me this
bribes you, but it's okay.
sweet thing. There we go with the sweet signature. I don't know if you know who that is, Connie, because y'all aren't as close of friends as I
Yeah,
am.
well, you know what? Let me bring him on to disprove this theory. As we welcome Dalton to the show, as you guys know, we've had him on many times before, but Mr. Dalton joins us once again. Hope everything is well with you, Dalton. How we doing there, brother?
Sweet bat.
Doing great. I'm glad to be back on.
Well, we are
Dalton,
glad to
first,
have you back.
yeah, of course, we're glad to have you. But let's get to the important things. Let's just got to disprove the theory that me and Dalton aren't boys out here. I've texted
I
Dalton
mean,
several times
Connie, you're
recently.
definitely a boy. We know that.
Listen, Mike, all because you have to talk about your 401ks with all of your friends doesn't mean that me and Dalton can't be boys,
Don't be hating on my portfolio. Anyways, Dalton, how you doing,
Connie, I
sir?
agree. We're boys. We're boys.
Okay, see? End of conversation.
Doing
I
good.
mean,
Doing good. Just I just got back from California.
You know, not only did Dalton just get back from California, he don't follow the man on the IG. He pulled out a nice little Gucci shirt. I said, oh, Mr. Moneybags over here. Those bat sales must be going well, Dalton.
all I can say is you would never catch
Hey,
me
I do
wearing
what
a
I
fanny
can.
pack.
Just it's not a fanny pack, Michael.
It
It's a
wasn't a
shoulder
fanny pack. It was
bag.
a T-shirt. Oh, you got a shoulder bag too? Okay. See,
A
Dalton's
shoulder
fitting
Yeah,
bag.
I had a
right
shoulder
in.
bag.
Dalton's
Shoulder
fitting
bag.
right in with the California people.
That's
Dalton, I
exactly
mean,
right.
with him saying
You have to
that,
be swaggy.
See, Dalton knows what's going on.
I mean, I get you. I got it. Past
Dalton, we
my
just have
time, I
to.
understand.
Dalton, we got to excuse Michael. To him, swaggy is that blue shirt he has on right now.
Hey,
Right.
it's kind of
You
nice.
know,
It's
a
sweet.
nice pair of New Balance shoes, Michael is A-okay to go.
The white New
hold
Balance
up.
shoes.
Oh, yeah,
Hold
all white
up.
New Balances.
Hold
All white
up.
New Balances. Probably some.
I am a Sketcher guy. Always
Of
Look
Sketcher.
at look at those.
Of course.
Look at those slip-ons too. They even have
Yes,
laces,
sir.
Michael.
I'm too fat, man. Do you think I've tied my shoes, man? I ain't tied a pair of shoes since like high school, man.
It's okay. I'm a big Roshi guy. Big Roshi guy.
I want a pair
So,
of these Hey Dudes
yeah.
that are out. They look nice.
see Dalton, big Roshi guy, huh?
Yeah, pretty big. Yeah, I like them.
Look at this. Look at this. Have you ever seen a bond like this? I haven't.
Speaking of swag,
Well,
look at my headband. Puerto Rico.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay. Spent a little time over there.
Yep.
Yes. Dalton, I will say, we're boys and all that, but it'd be wrong of me. It'd be a lie to say I'm not a little disappointed that Michael has a bat and I don't. I'm just saying. There's no hard feelings or anything.
not only is it a bat, but it's
No,
a cracked bat that was
Connie-
used.
I'll reach out. You
Oh,
gotta
Dalton,
hit
you're
me
lagging a
up.
little bit. Dalton, you're lagging a little bit. Let me get that one more time.
I said, Connie, all you have to do is hit me up. That's
Oh,
all you got to do.
You know what? This is my official hit up. I'll send you the address right after the show.
Actually, he'll probably do it
All right,
during the
there you
show,
go.
Dalton.
Hey,
Hey, listen. Listen, didn't you get a baseball card of yourself? Like, have I seen that before? Or am I making this up, Dalton?
I have 3.
Got 3.
Ooh.
Nice. So one of the 3 needs to be coming my way. Just throwing that out there.
No.
But,
Those are collector editions, Dalton. Don't let him do that to you. And listen, you better charge him. That's at least a $3,000 card.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's got to pay me some big money for that.
Well,
see, Michael, I'm
never
sick and
mind.
tired of you trying to get handouts.
I apologize. I will not be able to make that end meet.
Don't worry.
Have you really not seen my cards?
I want to
haven't
say
seen
I
them.
seen one that you put on either Facebook. Maybe it was your mom that shared it on Facebook, your card, but I can't remember what it looked like. You got them?
Is it the Lexington ones or the Billings ones?
I think it was the Billing one that I seen.
Okay,
I want to see
yeah,
a Lexington one.
I have 2 from Lexington, yeah.
Okay, all right. I need to see these, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I have them
haven't-
upstairs, but
You know what?
Just text mom right now and say, hey, mom, or even Coach Dad. Hey, Coach, come on down here. Let me just see those cards real quick. You know where they are. Bring them on down, Dad. But
Listen, maybe he doesn't want them rifling through his things, Michael. This is a grown man we're talking about,
that is true. That is true.
Might have some things to hide in there, You never know.
Understand. Let's get back to more. Dalton, can you tell us what's been going on with you? Obviously, you've been playing at Billings Mustang. How'd that go? Can you give us like a recap of the whole season? I'm sure Connie never watched a game, but I actually got on ESPN XM radio for the minor leagues that they had going on, and actually found Billings Mustang games. So I was legit a fan. Seeing that, or actually, I got to watch and listen to that 3-run home run blast that you had.
I did see that.
Hey. Nice. So, yeah. So, I started out in Puerto Rico. Had a really good time in Puerto Rico. Mostly got to play spring training in Puerto Rico just because the time frame. And then I got my contract bought out by West Virginia Power. And things ended up not working out there, so they sent me to Billings, Montana. So, I had a pretty good season in Billings. But it was not my favorite place to play. But I did have a good time. It wasn't anything like Lexington, I think, because more I was homesick and the vibes were just a little bit different.
They didn't have the chicken fried that you're used to up there, right? The chicken strips that you had your little fan there bringing to you.
Not the same.
Yeah, I mean, up there they're all in cowboy hats, like a ton of cowboy hats. Like,
Michael, you own a cow. You have the same thing. Anyway, I was gonna say, I guess for me going from New York to Montana would be a little different. But I mean, Dalton, come on, you went from Kentucky to Montana. There's nothing to do in both of those places.
there's a big difference.
There might be. There might be. I expect nothing but fields for both of them.
Are you with us, Dalton, or did we freeze here?
I was looking a little frozen there, Michael, but still, I'm expecting nothing but fields.
Well,
Oh,
while we wait on him, I'm just going to
no.
drop this for you. You ready for this?
Oh
Since
yeah,
you
let's
brought it
see.
up.
Okay, you cut out.
There's my baby. Looky
Oh,
there.
look at this. Look at that.
That's Cece. That's my cow.
Now, Michael, is this a beef cow or is this a milk cow?
It's a longhorn, obviously, as you can tell. So it's a beef cow, but I'm not going to be eating it. I spent like $200 on it and trying to get 700 out of it now, and it probably won't take long to get that.
Okay, it looks like Dawn's back with us a little bit.
There we go.
So Dawn, what's the
Yep,
what's
I'm
the big
back.
difference
I'm
there
back.
between Lexington and the good old Billings?
How can I explain it? Obviously the scenery's a big change. I was in the city, you
Yeah,
know, so it's Lexington's obviously the city too, but it's a lot of cowboy type things. So you see people walking around with cowboy hats and that type of thing.
I'm sure
there's
everyone
a
had a
lot
gun
of
on their hip,
flat
right?
land. Oh yeah, that's a huge thing there. 100% huge thing. So our ballpark was right in downtown Billings. So it was pretty much the city, but I don't know how to explain the difference because I don't even know. It was just more flat. You know, the people were okay. Have you ever watched on Netflix? What is that show? The Ranch. You ever watch The Ranch on Netflix?
My dad is a fan. My dad is a fan.
Okay, so that's what it would remind you of a little bit is The Ranch.
Okay.
So it's not like Yellowstone or the Longmire where everyone's like, "Hey, this is my land. Don't even come touch it. I'm going to shoot you anyways."
Okay, now it's like that too. Yeah, it can be like that too.
Okay. All right. So
Yep.
You know, Dawn,
My
I'm
favorite
gonna have
place I
to.
actually went to was Colorado. I loved Colorado.
Ooh.
okay.
I'm gonna have to get you a nice little contract here in New York, Dawn.
Loved
Show you a real good time. You know,
for sure.
I'm tired of Dalton, having to be in Kentucky and Montana and in these places where, you see
Right.
Walmart every 45 miles.
That is true. Not gonna lie there. That is true.
Dalton, I don't know if you're concerned. Me and Michael talked about this last week. I've genuinely lost sleep over Michael now because I didn't realize that if Michael falls and breaks a hip when he's 95 years old, hopefully after living a long, prosperous life, of course, that the ambulance is going to take a half hour to get there, 45 minutes.
Oh yeah, where I live, it takes at least. It'll probably take longer than that, and then the drive back to the hospital would take another 45 minutes.
You both make me very nervous now. Dalton, especially being an athlete, Michael isn't really doing anything athletic, so we don't got to worry about him pulling anything. Dalton, on the other hand, pulls a hammy. That ice bath is probably 6 miles away just to get to the house, just to get back to the house.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least you're close to the campus there, where you could probably get some stuff like that. But as far as that, yeah, like I guess you would have to go to Hazard, right?
Yeah, Hazard's closest one.
So that's at least what 45, 50 minutes away.
Yeah, 45. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Listen, the place where he lives is called Pippa Passes. Like it is. There's seriously two mountains, and it is like boom, right dead in the center. Like it's worse than where I live. Like we at least have an open
Yeah.
area here. It's not flat land because I couldn't handle that, but it's mountains and it's a beautiful place where I live, very scenic. But Pippa Passes, that was rough. I was kind of claustrophobic living there when I went to college there.
Pippa Passes is the most beautiful place you'll ever see in your life.
See,
And I would
don't disrespect
disagree.
Pippa Passes.
I
feel like I'm not saying it right because I don't have that, southern twang.
You tried with that passes.
No, I didn't. I literally said it
Passes.
normally.
No, you didn't. You went Pippa Passes.
No, I did not. If it helps you sleep at night, Michael, it's okay.
Didn't he?
I didn't hear him say it, so
Okay. You did, though. Even when you said Kentucky, it sounded like you was trying to be a little hillbilly. Because you went Billings for Lexington, Kentucky. I was like, whoa, there you go.
Listen, Michael, I think you're hearing things because I didn't try to sound southern on any of them.
It just happens natural. You can't say Kentucky and not become a hillbilly automatically.
It's like saying dead ass. You're from New York immediately.
People
That
actually
makes
try
no
to
sense.
recreate. They try to recreate my accent all the time when I go to these places. They love it. They love my accent.
See, and
Does
by
that
and
ever
by
get old to you though?
no. Hold on, Michael. There's a more important thing here.
The women
Because
love it. Go ahead and
by
ask.
they, yeah, exactly. By they, he means every female he's come in contact with. Dog, you sly dog.
Look
I
at
know
that
what you're
smile
doing.
there. Look at that smile there. Oh, I bet you Puerto
The
Rico,
women do
the
love it. I'm not
women.
gonna lie.
Listen. Don't worry. I know. Dalton and Michael are both holy men, and I know that the family's watching everything. So I don't worry. I'll do the talk for both of you guys. Dalton is doing okay. You know what I mean? Just saying.
Let's just ask this, Dalton. If you were to like need advice or help in a city that you were ever at, Puerto Rico, uh, Billings, Colorado, somewhere in there, were the women more likely to help you before anyone else?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know what? That's now, Dalton. Here's the real question. You need lady advice. Me or Michael?
Oh man. You know,
It's a very simple answer, by the way.
I'm going to put you both in a group text. That way I can get both
Okay,
sides of it.
Michael, you hear that? Michael, do you know that Dalton's trained to be a politician too with that answer?
Dalton, do I need to go back in some of our texts and kind of go back through like a couple months back here? Do I need to do that?
No, let's not
Listen,
bring those texts up.
Okay. Okay.
see,
I'll
I
rest
would
my
never.
case.
See, I would never hold that over your head like Michael does. Bad guy Michael, typical
No,
of
no,
him.
no, 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 no. He knows what I'm referring to.
Bad
The
guy. I would
wingman right
never.
there.
I would never hold it over
Wingman.
you like that. But Dalton, tell me about your
Yep.
season.
Yep.
I know you said it was a little different. We should, probably somewhat talk about baseball since you're a big star
Baseball.
over here, Mister Big Star Dalton over here. Tell how'd the season go? Tell me that he
So it
froze right when
started
I
out
asked
really
that
good.
question. Oh, there we
I,
go.
yeah, I'm here. I'm back. It started really good. I was playing really well, hitting really well, and then so I actually hurt my hand in the middle of the season from actually a spider bite, which is crazy. But I got spider bit. I actually had to go on the DL for I think 4 days. It actually affected my swing for a little bit, and I got in a slump,
Wow.
and things started going downhill. And then towards the end of the year, I started coming back up. But it was I had an up and down season, so it was the most I've struggled in the season for sure.
Now, with that, because I did see that what games I were able to watch, you did more DH than catching or anything, right?
Right, I didn't catch much. I cannot tell you why. I don't I don't want to say anything. I think I should be catching. Should have been caught catching a lot, but it was just something that
That's
happened. So
that's
So
I
it
fine.
stuck with
wasn't.
the DH, and that was fine.
So it was just you weren't catching. It wasn't the spider bite or anything that didn't affect you. It just affected your swing. It didn't affect your catching ability.
No, it did not. Honestly, I'll tell you this: our manager brought in a catcher from his hometown, so he kind of gave him a big,
Big
priority to
ol'
catch
yeah,
instead of anybody else.
little politician again. There
So
we go, politicking there. I mean, understandable.
yeah,
Don't like it because you do play second. Obviously, you do know it's you, but you play second base some as well. Even shortstop, I think in college. Did you have the opportunity to play there? Or did you just say, hey, let me just DH here a lot, or were they just that good there? Because Billings actually has put in a lot of MLB players too.
I played second base. Right, I played second base. I think like 4 games.
Mhm.
I played the outfield like 3 or 4 games.
Okay.
Besides that, though, I stayed at the DH spot pretty much every game.
Now,
Well,
I've probably asked this question before, and well, I forget things very easily. So if you can't catch, where would you want to play if you're picking it yourself? Every time, Michael. It's always my questions too.
that took a past this internet. Let me tell you, it's hard to play Halo when I was in college with it.
I did hear that too, by the way. Funny enough, we talked about my journalism class earlier. I thought we were talking about that because this one girl from, upstate New York, internet's not very well over there either because, the mountains. But Dalton's back, so it's okay. I can
Okay.
re-ask the question again with where would you want to play if you're not catching?
Probably center field.
Oh, okay. See, this guy
Yeah.
Dalton wants to be on the highlight
field.
tapes.
What I think is crazy about Dalton is
Yes.
you don't hear too many catchers that has the speed that Dalton has. I
was going to say, catcher playing center field, that doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, and then he even had stolen bases. I think I can't remember how many he had last year playing with his college team. Excuse me, but you are a base stealing threat as a catcher. It doesn't happen. Even to think that someone could say it.
Right. So speaking of that, he would not let me steal any bases. It would completely shut me down, would not give me the green light to steal any bases in pro ball. So I didn't do any of that either.
Now, were the team stealing, or just like that's kind of his analytics? Hey, what's the point of risking the stealing when we can bat them over or anything like that? Because small ball's left.
No, he let the rest. He let some of the rest of the team steal. He just wouldn't let me steal.
Man, you should have just took off.
Now, Dalton, you don't have to answer this question, of course, because we're not here to get you in trouble or anything. But the way some of these things sound, it doesn't sound like you're going to be back with Billings next season.
Um.
Well, let's pause that question real quick. Let's just pause that, okay? So let's rewind just a little bit and talk about being in California. What was you in California for?
I was in California for a free agent workout. I went because of the Billings situation. Our manager actually got fired and he's left, so he won't be in Billings anymore. But I was in California
way to be paying them Billings. That's a dad joke. Sorry. So how did this workout go? Okay. So how did the free
went great.
I mean, you can tell us a little more than that. It just went great, right?
It was a very, very productive workout. I had a lot of teams interested. I think I threw a 1-8-8 down to second. I hit a home run live at bats, so it caught some eyes. So it was a really good workout.
Now, when you say home run, because I knew this already that you hit the home run, I was wondering about this. Was it over the wall home run, or is it like, hey, that's obviously a home run? Like you hit it and you did a little pose, like, yeah, I just got a hold of that one.
Yeah, I done a pose. I kind of jogged out of the box.
Okay, all right.
Now, so for a free agent workout, is this professional teams looking at you? Is this like their minor league systems?
This is professional teams, yeah, like MLB teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you say of any teams that were there, not necessarily looking at you, but just were there present?
Yeah, the Padres, the Braves.
That would be
trying to think who else.
I know. Yeah,
the Chinichi Dragons of Japan.
Japan.
There was 5 Mexican teams from the Mexican League, which is AAA. Let's see. Trying to think who else. The Mariners were there. The Dodgers were there.
What's up, big brother? How are you doing?
There was a bunch of teams there. I can't remember everybody.
Okay.
Listen, all I'm saying is I know a team in New York that could probably use a catcher. So, just saying.
Were the Reds there? That's all I need to know.
No, they were not there.
Come on, Reds. We need to sign my boy. Okay. I don't want to ask if you could tell us who, but was there at least enough noise going on for you that it was pretty productive and at least, got you on high hopes of what's going on there? Like, what could be our next step? Like, are we thinking possibly MLB team signing us or even Japan like you talked about, or can you even say anything like that, or taking it easy during this time? Because personally, I don't know what all goes on right now. Like, this is, you have your winter ball that all these other players are doing. Like, I don't even know exactly what all that entails.
Right. So from the workout, actually, the first day, not been signed yet. That was his words to me. So that gave me, some really good hope. And he
Right.
said starting the second day, he said, teams are all over you. I already told him about you for the second day. So they were already looking at me for the second day. So I did have a bunch of teams reach out. I actually had 2 calls on the flight when I got back home. I had 2 calls when I landed from teams, and I'm waiting on some more calls right now. So we'll see what happens.
So is the next step from that like individual workouts with teams, or is there or do you go to like another event type of situation where there's a bunch of teams involved?
Right now, so they can sign me actually on the spot now. So whatever they offer me money wise, if I think it's good for me, I can sign.
We only do millions, people. Just listen. I'm just trying to let everybody know. Unless,
Now, I got to know this because personally, I know in Eastern Kentucky where we live, it's what we are. So, like that first contract that comes to you, like, okay, we're ready to give this to you. Read over it, sign it if you want to, send it back. Let's go. I'm thinking in my head, I'd probably sign the very first one. Are you that gun happy to ready to just fire away on anything, or are you going to kind of take it back, say, okay, I'm going to give this a week, see what all actually does come out, or first person that comes at you, be like, hey, I'm signing, let's go. What are you thinking there?
No, I'll give it time. I actually did get offered a couple of contracts, but I'm giving it some time to see what plays out and what goes on with everything.
Okay.
come on, Michael, you got to play the market here, baby.
Well,
You know what? Listen, this is what Dalton's going to do. Ready? He's going to say, "Listen, Padres, your deal sounds all right, mid at best." That's going to be Dalton's words. He's going to say they're pretty mid, but I got to deal with the good old Cardinals over here. I said that just to make you mad, Michael. By the
what a
way,
jerk.
just to make you mad. I got to deal with the Cardinals over here. They're giving me a little extra dough over here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need you to raise the offer there, pal. That's Dalton. Listen, Dalton, I'm just saying, if you ever need somebody to negotiate contract, I'm your guy. You might just
I
need a
remember that,
lawyer
Connie.
to read over the contract. You just might need a lawyer to read over the contract because I don't know about all the other parts. With the money, I'm there. I'm gonna say, listen, this is at least a $3 million asset, and move on.
Yeah, me and Michael were talking before. I'm pretty interested in the Japan route because they showed a lot of interest in me and they talked to me a lot about that. So I'm actually waiting from the front office of Japan to see what the offer is, see what's going to come in with that. So
Okay.
um, so that's something that's very interesting.
And what's
It's a long way away from home, but I
Oh, you know what? It's
It's a
fine.
long way away from home. But one thing that we did talk about, and hopefully he gets connection back here, was Japan. The atmosphere that they have is probably better than our MLB here in the states as
Oh
far as
no, there's no probably.
well, I was trying to be respectful in case there's somebody watching that says, "Oh my goodness, can't believe they said that." But not only that, even the marketing your own self outside of that, like, okay, if they gave you $1 million, you could turn that $1 million into so much more just by being in their advertising things that they have. Like, and that one thing I mentioned was Paul Marbury. He's pretty much just uprooted himself from the states and living there. There's another guy, I cannot remember his name, but they did a documentary on him with ESPN and how he just completely fell in love with the culture and basically he's like a goddess over there. That's how much they like pretty much are into him, an idol more or less. So even just thinking, what a great opportunity that Japan is interested in you, but even the opportunities that will come because of that too. Like Dalton will be more recognizable in Japan than Mike Trout is in New York.
What happened?
I don't know about all that, but
Think
I
about
would
it.
hope
Now,
that'd be
Michael, I don't
awesome.
know if it's me, or something, but everything is lagging right now, so I'm a little confuzzled.
You're good on mine. Must be
You know,
you.
let me find out. Don't worry, I'm tuned in to the YouTube channel, people. By the way, so if you're not over there on the YouTube where we can see your comments, make sure you go over there and check it out. By the way, because we like to see what's happening. So you guys continue your chat. I'm going to see if it's me or or something else is going on. So you just give me a second here.
You're not even lagging as you're talking to me here. Like it's perfect.
Perfect to me too.
Or something else is going on. So you just give me a second here.
You're not. There he goes. Now he mutes his mic. So I don't know. I guess it's him. Even as he was saying that, it played perfectly. So did they tell you a timetable on when they expected contracts or any kind of negotiation to go on with you on this?
It's supposed to be this next week coming up.
Okay.
But you know how those things go. It could be a while from now. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen.
Okay, especially with, and that's one thing we wanted to get in, but of course we're in the 30-minute mark already, was possibly the CBA having a lockdown or blackout, whatever you want to call it, and won't have their winter meetings now. So it's probably going to delay everything quite a bit. I don't even know if these guys are in the front office or allowed to, but I didn't think about it with my emails I sent out. But so, all right, that sounds good. Trying to think what else we can go with. Do you have any more things?
Don't worry, I'm back, baby.
Dang it. Do you have any more workouts lined up in the near future that you're going to attend, or some more trainings, or just taking a break from it for a little bit? Going to go down to Texas and holler at my guy TJ Antone with his workout that he has down there in Cova.
So I'm actually going to take a little break for a while. My body needs a rest, and kind of see what plays out. I'm going to still work out, but I'm actually going to stop training for probably around a month to give my body a little break.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm going to, see what the best option for me is. And then obviously I'll sign there and then go from there and go through the season.
All right. Well, you know what? We wish nothing but the best of luck, of course.
Of course. Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But Michael, you got anything else? We'll let Dalton go and continue on.
Sounds good to me. Honestly, thank you so much again, as always, joining. Go ahead for the people that are watching and talk about your bats and everything you got going on right now.
Perfect. Everybody go check out www.dc3batco.com. You can get your fully custom bats for a really good price. They're the game bats that I swing, and I have about 22 professional players now swinging my bats. So anybody interested, go check it out. And I really appreciate you guys having me on. Also, I have some videos coming up for you guys. So you guys will be pretty excited about that. Good. Some workout videos in the weight room, some live videos of me hitting. Actually, you can see that on my Instagram now. So everybody can check that out.
Well, we love to hear it. We do.
Excuse me, Dalton, you definitely got to come back on whatever you do, get your contracts, whatever you lined out, and let us know what's the next chapter for you, okay?
For sure. Definitely will. Thank you guys very much.
All right, man.
Yeah, sir, Dalton, you have a good one there, brother. All right, Michael. A wonderful time as it always is.
Always. What a wonderful time.
What a guy. Good guy, Dalton. Unlike bad guy, Michael.
You can say that all you want.
So, I'm used to it by now.
Now that we've had a great interaction there with Dalton, something else that's kind of having a lot of interaction going on right now is, these meetings that are taking place. Have you heard anything about those?
Oh, just the GM meetings, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Which don't be confused with the winter meetings. That is a separate thing that usually happens, later in December. But right now it's just the GM meetings. Of course, Michael. Just the GM meetings. I'm not 100% positive what truly gets talked about during these, because I've always heard about the winter meetings. I have never really heard about the GM meetings until now. And I think the main reason that you're hearing about it now is because of the impending doom of the lockout that's coming. But there have been some interesting things to come out Um, I mean, I just know on my end that Cashman, the Yankee GM, said that they're 100% signing a shortstop, and I guess the two people that they're in on is Seager and somebody else. I would assume it's Correa.
Well, I seen that they were going to talk to the top 4 shortstops and would be signing
okay.
one of the top 4. They said.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely signing a shortstop. So I mean you can stick that right in the cap. That's definitely going to happen. I saw that they're interested in trading for Matt Olson of the A's. Their first baseman, which I also saw a trade that was like Luke Voigt and Gleyber Torres for him. And if the A's were ever dumb enough to take that trade, I would literally do it in a millisecond. Don't get me wrong. I think Gleyber still has the potential to be a very good player. Listen, Matt Olson is built for Yankee Stadium. He's a left-handed power bat. I think he hit 38 home runs last year, better than like the 270s. So if you can add, more of that lefty-righty thing that everybody always wants, it would be perfect. So trade for him. Also, Justin Verlander through a bullpen session for a bunch of teams. I believe he hit 96 on his bullpen. So that's still good for somebody coming off of Tommy John, and especially somebody at his age as well.
And
so
I don't think he's pitched in like 2 years because of his injuries that he's had.
Yeah, because I think he got it in the shortened season, but I think it was later in the shortened season. So
we actually thought he would come back around September. I thought of this year.
Yeah, I thought he would be back this year, and wrong again, Michael.
That's glad you admit that. But anyways,
that was a rare thing. Oh, listen, you were wrong too, so it's fine.
I picked the Braves from day one.
Doesn't matter.
From day one.
Season's over.
From day one.
Michael, you also didn't get any of your MVPs right.
I mean, that's okay. Listen, do you want to talk about MVP? Let me pull this picture up.
Here we go with Vlad again.
You're right.
It's not Vlad, Michael. Get over it.
Vlad, in his stats, third in average, first in OBP, first in slug, first in OPS, first in runs, second in hits, first in total at bats. I'm guessing triples. I don't know. That's definitely not triples.
No, that's total at bats, I believe. No, it can't be total at bats. 360. No, that's total bases.
Okay, yeah. There we go. First in home runs and fifth in RBIs. Well, still, he's in first. Those stats are MVP stats.
Yeah, how many innings did he pitch?
0, I think. But
yeah.
Vlad deserves MVP. Ohtani, they even rested him at the end of the season so he wouldn't hurt his stats. That's tanking for an MVP.
That doesn't even make sense.
I know. Carry on.
That's okay. But yeah, so some of those interesting things that have come out of the GM meetings at the moment. But obviously the thing that everybody is focused on is the impending lockout, because it looks like that is going to happen. I'll just read this from a little article that I looked up. First of all, John Heyman, who works at MLB Network, said management source on the state of the CBA negotiations is, quote, as bad as I've ever seen it. So, and he had the prediction of it being about a 2.5 months of a lockout, which is, just definitely not what the sport needs. I saw another thing that I believe the last lockout was like 94?
94.
I want to say. And that resulted
there was no World Series that year, I think.
Yeah, there was no World Series that year. Obviously terrible for the sport when you can't crown a champion, and it's not because of something bad. It's because you guys couldn't come to an agreement. First of all, I'm trying to figure out how there was a lockout in the middle of the season. Like, don't CBAs usually end at the end of seasons? How did we have a lockout in the middle of a season?
I was 8 years old. I just remember that there wasn't a World Series.
You were 8 years old?
Yeah.
I was 6 years away from being born. Just saying.
I mean, see, you're not that much younger than me. But I don't know. And this CBA runs out, I think they said December 1st.
Yep.
So they're expecting this lockout.
And you know what, Michael, when the winter meetings are?
When's that?
December 7th. So they're not even happening.
So they're not going to be having them. Yeah, like that's really going to hurt the small market teams.
Oh my!
As far as their negotiations. and the
That's
deals that they
simply
try to
not true.
make.
It hurts
But
baseball, Michael. There's no small market teams anymore. It's 2021.
But what I'm worried about is when that 2.5 prediction, of course, that's not even set in stone that it either lasts that long or that short. Is he counting that from December? So is he saying like December, January, February, then everything's good? Or is he actually thinking like in March and April when the season starts, 2.5 months?
No, I would think that he
For the-
means from December.
That's what I think too. But I was just thinking, wonder if he actually means like this is going to go so long that it's going to push everything back 2.5 months from even starting too. Because if you don't have your winter meetings and you don't have all these free agents signed, and then by the time you get to spring training, like it's probably going to be April for spring training then. So is it going to just shorten the season out that way, or we're just not going to have a big spring training? I mean, it's going to affect quite a bit of this actually.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Like, obviously, you can't sign free agents during this. You can't find managers. You can't find GMs. You can't do anything during a lockout. It is a labor stoppage. That is what happens. There is no working. So it's going to
Official
be
working.
Yeah. That's true. Of course, I'm sure that some of the agents are making some calls during these lockouts.
No, they're not. They're not being
No,
a LeBron
yeah,
James
never.
recruiting people.
Did you see his outfit last night? It looked like he was going to be on a safari.
Oh, goodness, I don't even want to talk about LeBron anymore. I hate him.
But anyway,
Not as a person. As a person.
So reading this, that it just says that much of the dispute is between the MLB PA and the owners, of course, is on core economics, is what they said. Key issues include the arbitration rules, the luxury tax threshold, and the minimum contract and a team salary floor. And I think those last two are pretty interesting. Because obviously right now in baseball there's no salary cap, but there's also I don't believe there's a salary floor. There might be. Don't kill me on that. I actually, I changed my mind. I think there might be. I think there might be a salary floor right now.
I think it's 50 million.
I'm just not. I can't tell you what it actually is. So, and I'm curious about that. Obviously the minimum contract, if it's between MLBPA and the MLB, that means the MLBPA wants the minimum contract to go up and the owners don't want it to.
Right.
And then the salary floor is the owner saying we don't want to have to spend more money, and the MLBPA saying, well, you guys should spend more money. And it's a weird situation because you can see it from both sides. Obviously, if you look at the business, you can understand the owners, and if you look at the players, you can understand that too. And I think it kind of ties into the whole situation of the MLB trying to stop tanking, which I heard. I haven't seen it like concrete articles on it so far of like what the exact rule would be, besides the fact that they are actually trying to stop tanking. I heard, on the radio that after 3 years, you couldn't get a top 5 draft pick or something for like the next couple of years. So I'm not sure, and that's the only place I had heard it. So I don't know, what the concrete rule is yet. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and lie and act like I absolutely know what's happening, but it kind of ties into that anyway, because if you put a salary floor in and say they made it 60 million and right now it was 50, then you're kind of forced to sign players that will probably make your team better. And that takes away from tanking as well. Because now you can't just go out there and sign, all right, we're going to sign this person to the veterans minimum because we know he's terrible. He probably shouldn't even be in the league anymore, but we need to fill out the roster. So we're going to sign him to the league minimum, and then, we can go on from there. Maybe this helps, the mid-level free agent, because that's the thing too. A lot of people don't realize that it's really the mid-level free agents that struggle the most getting a contract. It's weird. Because obviously you have those top guys that are, every single person in the league is trying to sign them, and they have no problem getting their contract. With Bauer last year and Cole and all the when Harper was a free agent and Machado, obviously they have no problem getting their money. That is never going to be an issue for them. And then the lower end free agents actually have a pretty easy way of getting their contracts too, because they get signed by bad teams or they're kind of filler options as well. but it's like those middle of the pack, 10 to like 5 to 10 to $15 million guys that can't get contracts, because at that point it's like you're not good enough where I should be paying you what my star is making, but you're not bad enough that I can't offer you, $2 million instead of I have to offer you at least like 7.
Right.
So they're actually the ones that kind of struggle with it. And I guess this is kind of MLB's way of saying, well, the MLBPA at least, of kind of saying we're trying to help those guys out by raising the salary floor. So I don't know, but it definitely looks like a lockout is coming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm just obviously just coming off the cuff with this and how things are going, but like those players, you think they're probably just going to put down in the minor league or just bring up a minor league player and have them like 2-way contracts like they did with Chris Bryant, that when they could have started him his rookie year and he made X amount of $1 million. Well, we kept him in the minor league, so now we only have to pay him this. So I mean, you'll probably just see that happen more. There's always going to be a loophole around this. And I was actually reading one of these articles. I think it's by Boraz. He was talking about how the tanking is a cancerous, competitive cancer. And what he was actually going is, and I disagree with him honestly, is he was saying that the Atlanta Braves are a conclusion of how a tanking team can actually win the World Series. And I was like, wait, the Braves didn't tank, but he went on in an article here that I was reading literally right now while you were talking, that the Atlanta Braves were under 500 before the break or before the trade deadline and added only 4 to 5 people to their team from teams that did not want to be over 500 because they wanted to tank. And now they gathered these players up and became the best team and won the World Series. When he's kind of saying that this kind of ruined baseball, like the number one team didn't win because everyone can make these trades. That's a part of the game. Like that's a chess piece that you can play.
I can agree with you.
Do what?
Like, I can agree with you on that part because I think that's dumb. I mean, bad teams. Bad teams. Hey, Michael, I actually did have some bad dreams recently. I think I got into a car accident twice. Twice in one dream.
Okay, I was going to say, was this one dream or 2 dreams? I mean,
no, well, it was weird. It was like I got into one, and then I think I recovered, and then I got into another one.
Oh, wow. Like in New York, though, y'all don't really drive a lot, do you?
I do. I'm not from the city.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you have cows, too. Gotcha. Carry on.
Actually, I mean, there is a farm down the road, but,
Wow.
Yeah, but Michael, I don't have to. No. That's simply not true because I can go to Walmart in 15 minutes.
Well, I mean, I can too, actually.
Yeah, if you drive about 180. Anyway, we're not getting into that. About
65, whatever. I can be there. I have to ask one question: do you own or know any of your friends that have a Carhartt shirt?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad has one because he worked for the MTA and he was outside in the winter, so he.
Okay. Okay. If you got Carhartt, your country, it doesn't matter. Carry on.
Anyway, bad teams playing or trading away their players. Of course, trading away their players has always been a thing. Like, I think it's more. I would say it's more in baseball than anything else. Because I mean, at the trade deadline, you see, Joey Gallo gets traded. Rizzo got traded. Who's the guy from the Pirates that got traded? Reynolds?
Frazier,
yes. Frazier gets traded, and Ketel Marte was supposed to be traded, and Starling Marte ends up getting traded from the Marlins. Like,
story.
Oh yeah, if only. But you don't really see that in other sports. Sort of.
You see it, but not as much. I agree. I'll say this: you'll see it, and I would say even as much. Just the star play
in other sports.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The impactful of the players don't get traded as much.
Like
you don't see an Aaron Rodgers traded.
Yeah, no. Like NBA, NFL, you're getting like the
role players.
Oh yeah, you're getting role players that are getting traded to good teams, but it's usually never Kevin Durant's not getting traded.
Right.
Type of situation like that. So I can absolutely disagree with that. Like that's well, yeah, hopefully. That's I don't know. That's kind of dumb. And the Braves were never attempting to tank though. Like that's where I disagree with him.
Well, no, he wasn't saying that they were tanking. He was saying that the other teams
Didn't he say that they won the World Series as a result of other teams tanking?
other teams because they basically gave their whole
Yeah.
starting lineups to help them win. But
Well,
here's the
guess
thing,
what?
like
So did other players went to a lot of different teams. Trey Turner and Max Scherzer went to
mean,
the Dodgers. They didn't win. Joey Gallo and Rizzo and everything went to the Yankees. They didn't win.
well, I mean, they had the chance to. But my thing is, like, if you and I are going fishing, we're having a competition. I'm on my boat and you're on your boat. If I see a little pond that I know fish are in, and I go fish it because it's a small market area there, and I can take whatever I want out of it, compared to you fishing a 1,000-gallon lake, like I'm going to do it because I'm going to take advantage of it. Like that doesn't make any sense to say, well, this is ridiculous because these teams didn't want their star players because they wanted to tank to get better pitcher or to get better draft picks. Sorry, if it's out there, you're going to take it. Like, I mean, a shark's not going to say, wow, that fish is hurt. I'm not going to bite it because that's not fair.
See, and here's my thing with tanking. That type of situation doesn't bother me. Because like I said, it happens all the time. Like
Absolutely.
if you like Twins, perfect example are the Twins. They came into the season thinking they were going to be something. By the midpoint of the season, they realized that they were terrible. They traded away Jose Barrios. Nelson Cruz. They traded away him to the Rays. That's fine. My problem with tanking is the teams that come into the year knowing they're bad and in the offseason didn't do anything to try and improve it because they want to be bad. Figuring out you're bad throughout a season compared to starting the season saying, okay, we're supposed to be bad this year, let's try and do that, is annoying as all hell to me. In all sports too. It's not just baseball. You look at the NBA, I mean, the 76ers did it for how long?
At least 7 years.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's bad for the sport at one point because you're having teams intentionally losing. You are having professional teams intentionally losing, and then it's BS for the fans too. You're telling me I still have to pay $100 to go to a game when my team is attempting to lose?
I agree. I totally agree. But here's my thing. It's not going to change unless the fans don't go. Like if you don't like it, just don't go, and then they'll do something. Because if the stadium,
but that's not true either. Look, Michael, look at the Orioles. They have nobody in those stands ever, and they've been tanking for 4 years.
Well, that's not really
nobody
my division.
goes to
I don't
those
watch
games.
them too much.
All right, well, I'll give you that example. Nobody is at an Orioles game. Literally, I mean, you could hit a home run, and it might take 30 seconds for somebody to get into frame to get the ball.
Okay.
I'm not lying to you.
Well, I mean, there's empty seats at the Reds games by the end of the year, but I mean, at the same time, it's still probably enough where they're still making a profit and everything. My thing is, I just think if and of course you're never going to get everyone to just not go to a game, but I think of Kentucky football. We went through Joker Phillips where he had us good, and then we kind of just slowly went back to being regular, and then had a couple coaches there where we were just not satisfied, and actually fans started not going. And now we've got Mark Stoops and actually have us relevant where we've been ranked. We've had a 10-win season. It's like we finally got tired of being losers and did something about it. Now, of course, Tennessee beats us and we're a loser again. But I don't think.
Michael, I got a perfect chart for you, by the way, after you're done.
Okay. Go ahead. You're good.
Okay. You want me to pull? All right, let me pull it up.
Okay. I'm going to say this, though, while you're pulling it up. To me, tanking, there's two different types. Like, I'm going to use the Rockies for the example here. The Rockies, we knew Trevor Story should have been traded, still should have been traded. But at the same time, this team was bad. They needed to trade their assets so they could get the picks. That's how it goes. But Trevor Story is not a player that they're going to sign during this off season. So to me, it would have made sense to trade him to try to get stuff back for your team to build with the future. So I can't say it's tanking to get rid of him because you're not going to sign him back, and you want to get the most value for your player, correct?
I can agree with that as well, yes.
Okay. So, I mean, granted, tanking is absolutely – nobody likes tanking. Don't get me wrong on that. No one likes tanking, but we can't call everything tanking. Like, even with us, Castellanos, he opted out of his 2 years deal. But if we had him for say this would have been his last year and we knew it, we probably should have traded him so we could get picks back or get another player.
I don't think that's tanking. I think that's
right.
a business decision.
Right, but some people are going to say it's tanking. Like, of course, we got the Pirates who sucked all year. We knew they would probably lose 100 games from the beginning, and then they're going to trade Frazier midway through the year because that's what they would do. I mean, Frazier was their best piece to get more asset back, and they weren't going to sign him back. I don't even know if he was a free
See, and
agent next year. But
here's my other thing too
Mhm.
that I hate about tanking is that sometimes they trade away players that should be building blocks.
I agree. I agree.
Like that's another bad part. Like you're telling me you're sitting here, oh, we're trying to get better, we're accumulating draft picks, blah blah blah, and then you finally get a good player, and then you're still in the middle of your tanking situation. So then you trade him for more young players. How does that make any sense?
I agree, and
You have a building block. Build.
that's why I was so happy when the Reds actually extended Votto. I think they extended him a 10-year contract because he was the piece that we wanted to build around. Like I was afraid going into it last year that we wouldn't sign him and we would just have to trade him away so we could get picks. Like that's just the process, if you will, on that. So let's see this. What's your chart you got up?
This is the MLB attendance
Okay.
For 2021, which is it's a little weird to me because it's not technically in order by total. It's in
Average
order by average. Yeah. So just like we said, let's go to the tanking teams. Look,
Pittsburgh.
Nobody's going to Miami games. 7,000 on average.
That's crazy.
Oakland. That's just because Oakland is a terrible stadium. I don't really put that on the tanking situation. Tampa Bay, that's also another place that nobody goes to games until the playoffs.
This is crazy.
Yeah. But look, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Detroit, Kansas City, Cleveland, Seattle, Minnesota. All of those teams we knew were going to be bad. And nobody goes to the games anyway. Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
And of course, crazy is Toronto had a great season. Oakland had a good season. Seattle had a good season, and they're still at the bottom with their attendance.
Yeah. I mean, Tampa Bay and Miami are always down there. I put that a lot on the fact that it's an elder state in general.
Right.
And also Tampa Bay has the ugliest stadium I've ever seen in my life. So there's no, fun being there. Like, why would I go to a dome stadium when I'm living in Miami or Tampa Bay?
Right. I agree.
So, but what's funny? Tampa Bay, terrible with attendance. You know that they have the highest ratings?
Really? Like everyone wants to watch it.
They have the highest TV ratings of any MLB team, but nobody goes to the games.
Who's number one?
Number one is the Dodgers, of course.
What's their number average?
They average 34,000. I mean, that's 5,000 more than Atlanta at number 2.
34. What was the bottom number? Like 7,000?
7,933.
That is almost, and obviously not this close, but that's almost 30,000 more people.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, even the top, kind of surprising. Texas, I can't believe they're at number 5.
Especially with the bad season they had.
Yeah, they're terrible. That's kind of surprising.
Colorado's at 7, so I mean, why would they?
I put Texas as the draw to the new stadium. That's what I really think it was. They have a new stadium. People want to go see it. Mm-hmm. Colorado, yeah, surprising, but I also don't know what else there is to do in Colorado. So I couldn't tell you. Yankees are there. Cubs. I mean, like, there's some teams on here that everybody's going to go to their games no matter what. Mm-hmm. Like, people show up to Yankee games, it doesn't matter because it's a celebrity thing. If you're cool, You're supposed to go. Cubs is the same thing. The Dodgers is the same thing. San Diego, I think that everybody was as excited about them this year. But like you said, the thing is to stop going to games, and then you look at the bottom of it, and all the teams at the bottom, besides a couple of them, were tanking.
I mean, the Colorado really kills me that they have that many.
Yeah, that one was shocking to me. But like I said, I mean, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Arizona, Detroit, Kansas City, Cleveland. We figured out Washington wasn't very good, midway through the season, so people stopped going to those too. So I don't know, but here's the thing, and I mean, I guess I'll get into the actual rule that I was talking about earlier. And I know that we had some conversation about this in the group chat last night. I obviously have my side. Other people have theirs. But here's my thing. This rule works for me, and I'll go over it again. So, I believe after and this is what I heard, and so I'm just saying that after 3 years of a top 5 draft pick, I believe the next 2 years you can't get a certain number draft pick. I don't know if that's top 5. I don't know if that's top 10, whatever. But after those 3 years, you can't get a certain draft pick. And I don't understand how there's a problem with that. You're giving me a face, Michael.
I'm actually looking for something too.
All right, but here's my thing. Ready? So it's not like you're taking away their draft pick in general. You're just limiting which pick they can get, and it's also not. Listen, you just gave them 3 years of high draft picks, and the ability to find free agents and the ability to trade players to get other good players and stuff. Like this should not hinder your team that much, and it would stop the people from being bad for an extended period of time, which is what I really think. Like if you say you had bad injuries and your team was just demolished and you tanked for a season, do I like it? No. Do I have the biggest problem with it? Probably not. But the fact that teams put 5-year plans into effect of being bad, I mean, Michael, like I said, the Orioles are 4 years into their tanking process. 4 years. They aren't even close. Can you name anybody on their team besides Mancini and Cedric Mullins?
No.
Okay.
No.
They're not even close to being a competitive team, and it's been 4 years. How is that good?
It is not. I 100% agree with you. It is not good. Cannot find this.
What are we trying to find out here, Michael?
I want to look at the last year's draft results, the MLB draft.
See, and that's my other thing too. You know that only 2 number 1 overall draft picks are in the Hall of Fame?
Really? That's interesting. Because
I
the reason why
I believe it's like Mike Piazza and somebody else.
Oh, wow. Okay, so I have found a list. I guess I'll show it to you. Let's see here. Share my screen. Bear with me. Ain't done this in forever. But we're getting there. Show my age, right? Taking me forever. Oh, not that one.
True.
Okay, is that sharing it?
All right, actually, hold on. I looked something up. So, oh yes, I can see it.
Okay. So the number 1 draft pick was Henry Davis from Louisville, Kentucky, but I think he was actually playing for Vandy. Oh no, it's a catcher. I'm sorry. He was a 4-year junior. He is 22 years old, roughly. Most people are not really making their debut until they're 25, 26 is when they really come into their own. So even with Pittsburgh, with this first overall pick, this guy probably is 4 years away before he actually even makes it to the MLB. That's where I would say that I would have the problem. There's the Vanderbilt jacket. He went to Texas. So some of these players that are being drafted that are going to change the system, they're going to have to take a while to get into the system. Like here's Arizona, who is another bad team. They drafted a high school senior. So we don't think he's going to be in the draft or in the MLB for at least probably 6 years, I would say. So you can't really say in 4 years or in 3 years this draft pick is going to change it around. But these guys, and I don't know how it's ever happened or ever came this way, but baseball, they draft these kids so young and try to hope that their raw talent can improve and be the guy, the steal, if you will. So it's almost, I feel like they should just raise the age of this. Like it has to be like the college football and basketball. Like let's just draft college players. Like that way, that would fix that problem maybe instead of waiting for a high schooler to actually get 23 years old before he even makes his first AAA team. So if we did something like that, maybe that would help. But I don't know. Like you try to find that special golden egg in these high school kids and hope that they develop. And if you miss on them, then you're there for another 3 to 5 years trying to get that next one. So it's that's why I have a problem with it. Like if you miss out, if this Henry Davis and Mr. Davis, I don't know you at all, but you're from my state, so that's awesome. But like if he were to not pan out as the number one pick, Pittsburgh would be bad for probably a decade just because of this pick.
But here's my thing too. Have they tried at all to improve themselves while getting the draft pick as well? Because that's
But
the
why
thing.
would you?
Because why would you not try and attempt to get better? Sign those mid-level free agents that I just talked about, and you could at least be competitive. And here's the thing. Here's the thing too. Maybe you're competitive. One of those free agents have a great season, then you can trade them and get better players again and restock.
But here's the problem with that. Now, I know you don't think small markets monies, whatever monies. I understand that. But there is at least, you have to say, a Cincinnati foundation cannot pay what Yankees can. You agree with me on that? I mean,
probably.
Okay, so if you're a mid-team, like the Yankees, let's just say the Yankees are a mid-team, or you have the Dodgers who are a championship caliber team this coming year. We'll just say that. If I offer you $7 million for 1 year, and let's say the Yankees offer you $7 million for 1 year, and then you have the Dodgers offer you 1 year $7 million. There we go. What team would you pick? The rebuilding team or the team that's looking to win a championship?
You know, here's the thing though, Michael. I think that directly goes into my point. You know what gets you to sign free agents? Winning. I'm telling you right now, if the Dodgers had all this money,
so it's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying. Like I think my point actually proves to both of us. Like winning gets you the free agency, but if you can't get the free agency, you can't win. You know, because the Reds, we're facing this now. Like we've already are talking about trading some of our pitchers. Not Castellanos. He didn't sign his arbitration, or not arbitration, but his option.
Tender.
And then Castillo, they're talking about already trading him. There's been some talks already buzzing about that. So these guys we're going to have to trade to be bad so we can try to work our way back up to good. Not necessarily tanking, but just trading off our assets now to try to rebuild. So, I mean, it's always going to be that. Nobody is going to who
winning cures everything. It does.
We are not going to be able to get Trevor Story to come to Cincinnati if the Yankees are wanting. Do you think so?
But is it because of the money, or is it because the Yankees are currently a better team?
But that's it. Like you have the money to where you can be a better team.
I mean,
they go hand in hand, really.
It does in a way, because I mean, we look at the Yankees and the Dodgers as, you know, the team that spends all this money. And don't get me wrong, I know that they do.
They do.
But look at the players on the teams too.
Because they spend the money for them. Like
no.
Go ahead.
Cody Bellinger through the system. Corey Seager through the system. Clayton Kershaw through the system. Walker Buehler through the system. I mean, I would say probably out of the top 10 players on their team, most of them have come through the Dodger system.
Okay, what about the Yankees?
And they haven't tanked.
No, they haven't. But I do remember, let's see here, Trevor Bauer is not through the system. Obviously, that was a blown person. Mookie Betts was not through the system. Right. So, I mean, it's not through the system, though.
Yeah, but that was a trade. That's not signing somebody free agent. Anybody could have made the trade.
But again, like even back to the story of why the Braves were good, it was through trades because other teams were tanking.
No, but I'm saying you can improve yourself by not having to spend the same money.
Okay.
The Yankees traded for Stan, and the Marlins are paying his contract.
Which is phenomenal that has happened.
So, like, there are ways to do it. It's not like you have to be $150 million. The Rays
are an anomaly.
An anomaly? There
yes.
we go.
So
Proud of you, Michael. Those are big words.
I've tried. I made it my 6 more syllables, but it's okay. So the Rays we can't really talk about. Like the Rays are on their own shelf life. Like they're over here, they are just gold. Whatever they do, they touch it turns into gold.
That is true.
But we'll say Pittsburgh's Pirates right now going to, we'll say Seager, okay, and offer him 10 years, $300 million.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Yankees that look at him say 10 years, $250 million. Who would you pick if you were him?
I mean, but that's the thing. I feel like it depends on the person. Do you want to win or do you want money?
Right, but at the same time, taking 50 million less and winning some rings is still just as good because a lot of these people in their contracts have those bonuses with them too. Like we don't even know like trade clauses. There's like no trade. You have to acknowledge all that.
But like here's the thing. We talk about all these teams. Apparently, one of the teams that's leading for Carlos Correa, who's the number one free agent this offseason, is the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. But they did have a good second half of the season.
Yeah, but still, is that a big market team? And they're apparently offering $325 million
for 10 years, I'm assuming.
I don't know. It might have been. I thought I saw 8.
Really? Golly, that is crazy money. Sorry,
Michael. He makes more in his tax deductions than we ever make in our life.
Yeah, he probably pays
his taxes that he pays at the end of the year more money than I'll ever see.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let me not say that because your boy's gonna be, famous.
Yeah, like it's definitely gonna be more money than we ever see. But I don't know. I'd have to dig into that a little more. Why they would be the ones? Because the Reds were in talk with Trevor Story last year because that was the piece that we needed, and we could commit everything to them. But we had so many more voids that we needed filled that we couldn't put all of our assets on one player. So I mean, they're going to get this one star and then try to build around him with these younger guys. I don't know. That's my thing. Like you can go all out for somebody, but you got to have the young guys that you're ready to move. Like if they get this guy, if they actually get him to be in Detroit, Detroit's trying to win now with their guys. Like you can't tell me that he's going to be actually playing there 10 years. If they flop in 2 or 3 years, they're trading him out.
Here's the one thing I'll agree with is that big market teams can afford a bad contract. Like if you say, I don't know, I'll use the Yankees again. Say that they gave Garrett Cole that money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for the next 5 years, he has a 7 ERA. And they trade him away. They can still eat some of that money and they would be okay as a team. If the Rays gave somebody $40 million and then they ended up being bad, they're screwed for 10 years.
Right. Oh yeah.
They can't replace the money as bigger teams will. I don't know. I don't even know if the rule is going to happen. I just think it's an interesting thing because I like it when any league attempts to eradicate tanking. I just think it's better for the sport as a whole. Because Scott Boras was right in one way. In the MLB, you literally have half of the teams trying to lose on purpose. You have at least half the teams are saying we don't want to win, and that just can't be. I don't know how you could look at that and say that's good in any way for any sport. I don't think what the 76ers was good. I don't think what the Jaguars did last year to try to get Trevor Lawrence was good. So I've always just been on the anti.
I don't think it's good. I don't think it's impressing. It's not sexy at all. But at the same time, the 76ers are relevant now because they did it. So it actually works. That's the thing. Like it works, but it's no fun to live through it.
And like I said, the reason I don't care about the rule is because they're still giving them the 3 years of good draft picks. And then after that, they just limit them from getting a top 10 for 2 years.
Mhm.
Like, they're not taking the draft pick away. And like I said, here you go, Michael. Hold on. So no first overall pick was inducted into the Hall of Fame until 2016. You know who that was, by the way?
Was it Piazza?
No. I was wrong about Piazza, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I said Piazza. I'm pretty sure he was drafted in like the 40th round. I'm an idiot.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Yes.
Was it really?
Ken Griffey Jr. was the first overall pick to be drafted into the Hall of Fame, and it was in 2016.
Wow. I'm proud of
And
myself for
then
getting
Griffey
that right,
has
too.
also been joined by Chipper Jones and Harold Baines in 2018 and 2019. So there's 3 first overall picks in the Hall of Fame. The MLB's been around for like 110 years.
That's crazy.
So, and here's the other thing too. We're so worried about the small market teams anyway, with all the tanking, and it's fine.
Mhm.
2 small market teams have won a World Series in 20 years. So it's not working anyway. It's not working. You know the two, Michael. You know the 2 teams.
But it's the best chance that they have. That's the sad thing.
But here's my thing. You know the 2 teams that won a World Series while tanking?
That's the best chance they have. Houston,
But
and
Houston and the Cubs. And guess what?
Cubs.
Not small market teams. They tanked, got good players, and then filled it out with players that are good because they have money too.
I agree. So the moral of the story is the small market teams can never win it, no matter what they do,
I mean, hey,
unless there's a ceiling.
I mean, I don't know. There's revenue sharing. There's a luxury tax that gets drifted down into smaller market teams. I just have a problem with small market being the term because it's 2021. There's no such thing as a small market. Like, I understand when it was the 1970s, and unless
Okay.
you played on national television, nobody knew who
Manfred
you
even
were.
said it's a regional sport.
Yeah,
still.
regional, not small market.
So I mean, can you tell me 4 players that plays for the Reds and me being a fan?
Yeah, Castellanos, Castillo, Joey Votto. Who's the rookie of the year? Oh God, I know who it is though. Oh, what about Stevenson? Although he did
Okay.
just get traded. But
Nope,
I
wrong
knew
one. That was Burkhart that just got traded.
Oh, oops.
Oh, sorry, to my ear.
Yeah, Stevenson. Sonny Gray is there. I hate him with a passion.
He doesn't count. He used to be a Yankee, so that's the only reason you know him.
Hate him.
So let's do this then. Can you tell me 5 players that played for the Oakland A's?
Matt Olson, Starling Marte, Sean Manaea, Matt Chapman.
Does Starling Marte play for him?
Yeah, he got traded to them.
Okay, well, it's trade. Okay, you're right.
I'm trying to think of. I was trying to go around the diamond, but it gets more, But yeah, I mean, it's not like but then again, listen, I'm also an MLB fan, so I understand what you're saying. Oh, Michael had a big old cough. He had to leave. He's such a big cough that he had to leave. Mike, you could have just muted the mic, by the way.
I couldn't find it.
Michael, I hope you're doing okay. But whatever. Michael, we're going to find out what happens with this rule. We don't even know if it's actually going to happen. We're an hour 18 in. I'm all good. You all good, Michael?
I'm dying over here, so I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, before you do, why don't you tell everybody where they can find
you? Go to MDLawson00. That is my Twitter handle, Instagram. It's also my TikTok. And I just downloaded this new app. It's a Colorcast. It's also on there as well.
Too, Michael.
Did you? MDLawson00. Go check me out. Might get into that. Might dabble a little bit. But on all those profiles, you can actually go to my bio and check out my link tree. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Look at you.
Link tree. Yes. Also on Saturday nights at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I am a co-host to Count the Bucket. I always want to say Backstop Banter when I'm on Backstop Banter, and then when I'm on Count the Bucket, say Count the Bucket. So go check that out. We actually got in chats with one of the guys that actually covers the Heat. I'm a big Heat fan right now. And he said that he would like to join the show, but he doesn't know if he can actually make it on our day that we want to do this Saturday. So we're still in talks trying to figure out when we can get him on.
Got to accommodate to the guest, Michael. Come on.
Hmm?
I said you got to accommodate to the guest, Michael. Come
Of,
on.
of course, of course. But his name is Will Menso, and he is verified, and he has
Oh.
23 followers. He is the sports director
23
of
followers?
23,000. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Well,
I'm excited
I'm
about
hoping
him coming
for it.
on, talk about my Miami, Kentucky Heat that we have, and yeah, go Reds.
I hope Michael. I hope it works out for you.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Heart.
Of course. As for me,
Heart.
you're the worst. As for me,
was a good one.
Monday's
Okay, here you
Generational
are.
Sports 7 Eastern. Oh, okay. Hold on. Michael, we got a question.
It's about time. He has not been on here in
I was
forever.
gonna say, Sage, how you been? Missed you. You're always a regular on the show.
Used to
But
be.
I'll continue to do my plug as we wait for the question. Well, I'm sure we can give a nice answer to it as we wind down the show. But Generational Sports 7 Eastern. That's on Mondays. Me and Josh talk about a little bit of everything, football, basketball, dabble a little UFC here and there.
Ooh.
So check that out. Tuesdays, the hard count with me and CJ
Dabble.
talk
Wow.
about everything in the NFL world. Break down all the games. Go over the next week, all the storylines. Of course, we have some storylines today with Odell going to the Rams. We got Cam Newton back in Carolina. So that'll be interesting to see. And then obviously make sure you check out me and Michael every day. Now, listen, people, we're live at 9 now.
Yes.
Not 10.
Not 10.
Live at 9. So
not like the Twitter says 10. It's 9.
Make sure you check us out. Okay? So Anthony Conover _ for the Twitter. Chenzi Sports for the Twitter as well. And the pod and the Instagram, actually. So
and of course, go follow Backstop Banter on Twitter.
Yes, of course. Backstop Banner. We gotta get that, gotta get that follower count up, people. We're doing
We
doing
do.
great
Come
work
on.
over here.
I mean, we get a lot of actual interaction, but we gotta get their follows up.
We do
But I
get
want to
some
ask you, while we're waiting on Sage to give us his question here, do you think that Odell going to the Rams was good for him?
No. I think he's the third option.
Yeah, that's me too. And even with Higbee, their tight end. Is that Higbee? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, that is. Because Gerald Everett went to the Seahawks.
Yeah, so I was thinking, like, why the Rams? I mean, it's literally like you go from a team because you're not getting any passes to a team where you're the third, maybe even the fourth option. Doesn't make any sense. But, man, my beard looks good.
No shave November, Michael.
I actually shaved today. Well, trimmed up.
Unbelievable. It's no shave November. Come on.
I mean, when you look like this, you got to tame the beast.
Beast is the correct word. Well, Sage, love to answer your question, but it might have to be another time. So I guess we bid farewell.
Oh,
look at that. You know what? That timing. Oh, it's a football question.
Goodness.
Come on, Sage. This is the baseball show.
This is.
But it's about the Patriots, so I'm still going to answer it. New England this year, development of Mac Jones. Oh yeah, Michael, gotta look over the comment. Personally, while Mac to succeed in New England, and even though I'm not a fan of the Patriots, however, I have seen younger fan blaming Mac for the Patriots' shortcomings this year and wanting him gone because it's not Brady. My question is, if New England is mediocre for years, do you see the younger fan base turning on Mac Jones and making him the scapegoat? You know what? I'm even going to tie this back into baseball, Michael.
Thank you.
Mac Jones and Tom Brady is the exact same thing I saw happen in New York with Derek Jeter and Didi Gregorius. Oh my God. Yeah. Listen, you can't replace a legend and not be the same thing. And it's unfair. It's completely unfair for everything. Tom Brady leaves, and they want to blame Mac Jones for literally everything that happens because Tom Brady is the greatest of all time, and we expect whoever to replace him to be the exact same thing. I saw with Derek Jeter.
But here's my thing.
The first week, Didi Gregorius was in New York. I think he made like 2 errors. Everybody trade him. Terrible. By the time he left New York, people were literally basically in tears over Didi leaving.
New York. But I will say this. I don't think Mac is replacing Brady, and that's one thing that I think may get overlooked. He's actually replacing Cam. Cam was the one that replaced the Brady. And anytime it's a rebound. I mean, I'm not trying to dog Cam, but like you have to have that one person that doesn't do good before you have that guy that comes in and does great.
But the only thing with that is I feel like everybody knew Cam wasn't going to be the person in New England.
That's why I think
so. We never looked at him as replacing Brady. It was always he's just the stopgap guy. Mm-hmm. We look at Mac Jones as replacing Tom Brady because he's supposed to be the one that leads us to the promised land again.
I agree, but in 4 years, if he doesn't, do you think they trade him?
I think it depends on how he plays. If he's a mid-level quarterback, I think they would just not pick up his 5th-year option and move on.
And then tank to get a good draft pick.
No, Bill doesn't tank. I wish he did.
He went for Cam. He tanked.
You know what? To them, it was a good option. I've never been a fan
of tanking.
Well, Michael, we answered a football question on the baseball show. We're just great people. Okay,
we're awesome.
So,
we're awesome.
With that being said, everybody, we're gonna head on out. Thank you for everybody for tuning in.
Dalton, thank you for joining too.
Yeah, of course.